Welcome to Discovering America, a fun journey through history for kids. My name is Sammy, and I'll be your guide on this amazing adventure. Are you ready to dive into the past and discover the incredible stories of America? Let's go! Hi there, history explorers! Welcome to Discovering America, a fun journey through history for kids. My name is Sammy, and I'll be your guide on this amazing adventure. Are you ready to dive into the past and discover the incredible stories of America? Let's go! But wait, what is history anyway? Well, history is like a giant storybook filled with tales about people, places, and big events from long, long ago. Some stories are happy, some are a little sad, and some are full of bravery, creativity, and teamwork. And the best part, every story is connected to you. Every person, including you, is a part of history. Today, we're going to start exploring some of the most exciting moments in America's story. From the first people who lived here, to brave pioneers, and even astronauts who went to space. Now I need your help to be the best history explorer ever. Can you say this with me? I am a history explorer. Great job! As a history explorer, you'll need to use your curiosity, imagination, and listening ears. Are you ready to get started? Before we begin, let's do our very first explorer activity. Grab a piece of paper and some crayons or markers. Draw a picture of you as a history explorer. What would you wear? A cool hat? A backpack? Maybe a magnifying glass? When you're done, keep it somewhere special because we'll be adding to your history collection as we go. This is just the beginning of our amazing journey through time. I can't wait to share these stories with you. In the next episode, we'll travel way back to meet the very first Americans. See you there, explorers! Long ago, before there were bustling cities, tall skyscrapers, or even paved roads, America was home to many people who lived in harmony with nature. These were the Native Americans, the first people to call this land their home. They lived here for thousands of years, building unique cultures, traditions, and communities that shaped the story of America. The first Americans didn't live in houses like we do today. Instead, they built homes that fit the land where they lived. Some, like the Iroquois, built sturdy longhouses from wood and bark that could shelter many families under one roof. Others, like the Navajo, made round homes called hogans, using clay and earth to stay cool in the desert. Meanwhile, the Lakota lived in teepees made from animal skins, which could be taken down and moved easily as they followed herds of buffalo. Each tribe, or group of people, lived differently depending on where they were. In the forests, near rivers, in deserts, or on wide, grassy plains, they adapted to their environment with amazing creativity and skill. Native American life was filled with color and creativity. They made clothes from animal hides dyed with bright colors from plants. They used beads, shells, and feathers to decorate their clothing, showing off their tribe's unique designs. Songs, dances, and stories were an important part of their lives. They told stories around campfires to teach children about bravery, kindness, and respect for the earth. Some stories explained how the world came to be, while others taught lessons about animals and nature. These traditions were passed down through generations, like gifts from grandparents to grandchildren. Did you know that many things we use today were influenced by Native American inventions? The first Americans grew crops like corn, beans, and squash, which they called the Three Sisters. These plants grew well together, and Native Americans showed early settlers how to grow them. Native Americans also made tools and weapons using stones, wood, and bones. They crafted canoes to travel along rivers and built traps to catch fish and animals. They even invented snowshoes to walk across snowy lands in winter. Now that you've learned a little about the first Americans, it's time to become a history explorer. Here's a fun activity for you to try. Make your own paper feather. Take a piece of paper and draw the shape of a feather. Use crayons, markers, or paints to decorate your feather with bright colors and patterns. Once it's done, cut it out and wear it as a headband or use it to decorate your room. As you create your feather, think about the creativity and teamwork that helped the first Americans build their homes, grow their food, and share their stories. Native American tribes are still an important part of America today, with traditions that remind us of the country's beginnings. In the next chapter, we'll learn about explorers who traveled across the ocean to discover this new land. But for now, let's celebrate the bravery, creativity, and teamwork of the first Americans, the original history explorers. Hey there, explorers! Welcome back to Discovering America, a fun journey through history. Today, we're traveling back in time to the age of exploration. Get ready to meet daring adventurers, sail across uncharted waters, and uncover the stories of meeting new people in strange, exciting lands. Let's hoist the anchor and get started! Long ago, the world seemed much smaller. People in Europe didn't know what lay across the vast ocean, and some thought there were sea monsters or that ships might fall off the edge of the earth. But that didn't stop brave explorers from dreaming big. They packed their ships with supplies and set out to discover new lands, trade routes, and maybe even treasures. Would you be brave enough to join them? One of the most famous explorers was Christopher Columbus. In 1492, he set sail with 3 small ships, hoping to find a shortcut to Asia. Instead of traveling east over land, Columbus had a bold idea: sail west across the Atlantic. After weeks of rough waves and endless ocean, they finally spotted land. Columbus thought he had reached Asia, but he had actually landed in the Bahamas, a group of beautiful islands. When Columbus and his crew arrived, they met the Native Americans who lived on the islands. These new friends greeted them with kindness and curiosity. They shared food, showed them how to live on the land, and introduced them to their way of life. But here's something to think about. While the Native Americans welcomed the explorers with open arms, Columbus and his men didn't always treat them the same way. Some explorers took things that didn't belong to them and acted unfairly. This reminds us of an important lesson. When we meet new people, we should always show kindness and respect. Now it's your turn to be an explorer. Let's create our very own treasure map. Imagine you're sailing across the ocean. What do you discover? Maybe a mysterious island, a hidden forest, or even a treasure chest full of gold. Don't forget to add landmarks like caves, mountains, and rivers. Be creative. And if you finish your map, share it in the comments. I'd love to see what you discover. Explorers like Columbus helped the world grow by discovering new lands and sharing ideas. But they also taught us the importance of being kind and respectful to everyone we meet. Remember, every adventure is a chance to learn and grow. Imagine a journey so perilous that your life, your family, and your dreams depend on it. This is the story of the Pilgrims, a tale of courage, resilience, and gratitude that gave birth to one of America's most cherished traditions. In the early 1600s, a group of people known as the Pilgrims made a daring decision. They boarded a ship called the Mayflower, leaving behind their home in England to seek religious freedom in a new land. Their voyage across the Atlantic was anything but easy. For over 2 months, they endured fierce storms, cramped conditions, and seasickness. Despite these hardships, their faith and determination carried them forward. Finally, in the winter of 1620, the Mayflower reached Cape Cod. Exhausted but hopeful, the Pilgrims prepared to face their next challenge, a harsh and unforgiving new land. Winter in Plymouth, Massachusetts was brutal. With little food and no permanent homes, the Pilgrims struggled to survive. Nearly half of their group perished due to illness and hunger. Yet, through these trials, they built a foundation of resilience and community, supporting one another during the darkest days. Spring brought new hope and an unexpected friendship. The Pilgrims met the Wampanoag people, Native Americans who had lived in the region for centuries. Among them was Squanto, a man whose kindness and knowledge would change the Pilgrims' lives forever. Squanto taught the Pilgrims essential skills: how to plant corn, how to fish, and how to hunt. These lessons were invaluable, helping the Pilgrims adapt to their new environment. In return, the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag formed a bond of mutual respect and cooperation. By the fall of 1621, the Pilgrims celebrated their first successful harvest. To give thanks, they organized a feast and invited the Wampanoag to join them. Together they shared a meal that included wild game, corn, and other local foods. This historic gathering marked the very first Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving has become a symbol of gratitude and togetherness. It's a reminder of how resilience and teamwork can overcome even the greatest challenges. The Pilgrim story inspires us to reflect on our own blessings and the people who support us. As we honor the legacy of the Pilgrims and their partnership with the Wampanoag, let's take a moment to think about what we're grateful for. What lessons can we carry forward from their incredible journey? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos in the Exploring America series and share your thoughts in the comments below. Imagine a world where ordinary people stand up against the most powerful empire on Earth. A time when the dream of freedom ignited the hearts of an entire nation. Welcome to the story of the American Revolution, a journey that transformed 13 colonies into the United States of America. From bold protests to battlefield victories, this epic tale is packed with courage, resilience, and the unyielding pursuit of independence. Let's dive into Chapter 1, Seeds of Independence. Life in the colonies wasn't always about rebellion. At first, the American colonies were loyal to Britain, but things changed when King George III and Parliament imposed harsh taxes like the Stamp Act and Tea Act. Colonists believed in no taxation without representation, and their voices grew louder with every new law. One of the boldest protests came on a chilly December night in 1773. A group of colonists, disguised as Native Americans, boarded British ships in Boston Harbor and dumped tea into the water. This act wasn't just about tea, it was about freedom. As anger spread across the colonies, representatives gathered for the First Continental Congress in 1774. They began discussing independence, planting the seeds for revolution. The revolution officially began with the battles of Lexington and Concord in April 1775. The shot heard round the world marked the start of a fierce fight for freedom. Ordinary farmers and shopkeepers became soldiers overnight, ready to defend their homes and dreams. Soon, the Continental Army was formed, with George Washington as its leader. His unwavering determination inspired his troops, even when the odds seemed impossible. Washington wasn't just a leader, he was a symbol of hope. Crossing the icy Delaware River in 1776 and enduring the harsh winter at Valley Forge, he proved that resilience and strategy could overcome any challenge. His leadership kept the army united when it mattered most. The revolution wasn't won by soldiers alone. Betsy Ross stitched the first American flag, Paul Revere's midnight ride warned of British attacks, and countless women, children, and everyday citizens contributed in remarkable ways. Their stories remind us that everyone has a role in shaping history. The American flag became a powerful symbol during the war. Its stars represented the colonies united in their fight, while its stripes stood for courage and sacrifice. Wherever the flag flew, it inspired hope and determination. In 1781, the Battle of Yorktown became the decisive victory that ended the war. With help from allies like France, the Continental Army defeated the British, paving the way for independence. In 1783, the Treaty of Paris officially ended the war, and Britain recognized the United States as an independent nation. It was a moment of triumph and reflection, as the colonists realized their sacrifices had been worth it. The revolution didn't just end with victory, it was the beginning of something greater. The colonies came together to write the Constitution, creating a government rooted in the ideals of freedom and equality. The American Revolution inspired future generations around the world to fight for their rights and freedoms. Its story continues to remind us of the power of unity and the strength of the human spirit. Want to bring history to life? Try making your own paper American flag and learn about its symbolism. Or sing along to Yankee Doodle, a song that cheered on the revolutionaries. The American Revolution wasn't just a war, it was a movement that changed the world. Ordinary people became extraordinary heroes, united by their dream of freedom. Their story lives on, reminding us of the courage it takes to stand up for what's right. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos in the Exploring America series and share your thoughts in the comments below. After the Revolutionary War, the United States was free, but freedom brought challenges. The biggest question facing the new nation was simple, yet powerful. How will we all live together and make fair decisions? Today, we're diving into the incredible story of how the United States was built on fairness, teamwork, and rights for all. In 1787, leaders from across the young United States met in Philadelphia. This meeting was called the Constitutional Convention. Their mission? To create rules that would guide a brand new nation. They talked, debated, and sometimes disagreed, but they all shared a goal, making sure the country was fair, safe, and strong. What they came up with would become one of the most important documents in history, the Constitution. The Constitution was a plan for how the government would work. It created 3 parts, or branches of government, each with its own job. First, Congress, the part of government that makes the laws. Next, the President, who makes sure those laws are followed. And finally, the courts, which decide if the laws are fair. Think of these branches like 3 friends working together. No one branch is more powerful than the others. They all keep each other in check. But even with these rules, some people were worried. What if the government made unfair laws? What if people's freedoms weren't protected? To answer these concerns, the leaders added a special part to the Constitution called the Bill of Rights. This edition made sure that every person had important freedoms that couldn't be taken away. The Bill of Rights included the right to say what you think, the right to choose your own religion, and the right to a fair trial. It was like a shield, protecting everyone from unfair treatment. With the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, the United States had a strong foundation to build a fair and just society. These rules still guide us today, over 200 years later. Now it's your turn to think like the founding fathers. Imagine creating your own set of rules to help everyone live and work together peacefully. What would those rules look like? Here's a fun activity to try. Think of 3 rules that are fair for everyone. Write them down on a big piece of paper. Decorate your rules with drawings or stickers. Share them with your friends or family. By creating your own rules, you'll see how fairness and teamwork help make life better for everyone, just like the founding fathers did long ago. And that's the story of how the United States began its journey as a nation built on fairness and rights for all. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights didn't just create rules, they created a promise of freedom and justice that continues to inspire the world. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos in the Exploring America series and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible stories about history. Long ago, when the United States was still young and growing, people were filled with dreams of new opportunities and adventures. Today, we're taking you back in time to explore the incredible journey of the pioneers who helped shape America. Welcome to the story of westward expansion. As the nation expanded, families decided to pack up everything they owned and move west in search of a better life. But this wasn't just a casual road trip, it was an epic adventure full of challenges, teamwork, and determination. Let's talk about those wagons. These were like moving homes. Families had to pack wisely, bringing enough supplies for months but leaving behind anything too heavy. Imagine trying to decide between your favorite chair or extra food for the journey. For kids, life on the trail wasn't all hard work. They found joy in small things like wooden toys or a game of tag during breaks. But even they had chores, like collecting firewood or helping with the animals. The Oregon Trail was one of the most famous routes. It stretched over 2,000 miles. That's like walking from New York City to Denver, Colorado, and then some. It could take 6 months to reach the end. At night, families camped under the stars. They cooked over open flames, shared stories, and planned the next day's journey. Can you imagine sitting by a crackling fire after a long day on the trail? Crossing rivers was one of the toughest parts of the journey. Wagons had to float or be taken apart to get across. It was dangerous, but pioneers helped each other through these challenges. Teamwork was essential. If a wagon broke down, everyone pitched in to fix it. Whether it was gathering supplies, patching shoes, or caring for someone who was sick, pioneers knew they could rely on one another. Being resourceful was just as important. When food supplies ran low, pioneers got creative. Flatbread made from just flour and water was a lifesaver when fresh bread wasn't an option. Most families didn't travel alone. They formed wagon trains, a line of wagons moving together. This made it safer and easier to share resources, like food and tools. Saying goodbye to their old homes wasn't easy, but these pioneers believed in something bigger, the promise of a better future out west. Their hard work paid off. Towns grew where there was once empty land. New communities thrived because of the courage and determination of these early settlers. Now let's put you in their shoes. If you were packing for this journey, what would you bring? Food, clothing, tools, maybe a favorite book? And what would you leave behind? Share your choices in the comments below. Through teamwork and resourcefulness, pioneers didn't just survive, they built the foundation of a growing nation. Their story reminds us that big dreams take hard work, but they're always worth it. Thanks for joining us on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos in the Exploring America series and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. The Civil War, a time of courage, conflict, and change. Imagine a nation divided, battling over the very meaning of freedom and equality. Today, we'll journey back to one of the most significant chapters in American history and discover how the leadership of Abraham Lincoln and the bravery of countless individuals shaped the future of the United States. Picture the United States in the 1800s, a time when people lived very different lives depending on where they called home. In the northern states, many believed in freedom for all, while in the southern states, slavery was deeply rooted in their way of life. But what is slavery? It meant that people, real, living people, were treated as property, forced to work without pay, and denied basic human rights. This moral divide grew larger and larger until it couldn't be ignored any longer. In 1860, a man named Abraham Lincoln became president. He believed that all people deserved to be treated equally, and that slavery had no place in a country built on the idea of freedom. But Lincoln's election worried the southern states, and they decided to form their own government, calling themselves the Confederacy. The northern states, known as the Union, refused to let the country split apart. And so, in 1861, the Civil War began. A war that would last 4 long, painful years. This war wasn't just about battles and armies, it was about ideas. Could a nation built on liberty truly allow slavery? The stakes were high and the battles were fierce. Through it all, Abraham Lincoln remained steadfast. He delivered powerful speeches, including the famous Gettysburg Address, reminding Americans of the nation's founding principles: liberty, equality, and justice for all. But the road to ending slavery wasn't easy. Families were torn apart, towns were destroyed, and soldiers fought bravely on both sides. Yet with each victory, the Union inched closer to its goal of freedom for all. In 1865, the war finally ended and slavery was abolished in the United States. This moment, marked by the passage of the 13th Amendment, was a turning point in history. People who had been enslaved were finally free, though the journey toward true equality was far from over. Abraham Lincoln didn't live to see the full impact of his efforts. He was tragically assassinated just months after the war ended, but his legacy endures. He taught us that standing up for what's right, even when it's hard, can change the world. Today, we remember the Civil War as a time when Americans faced some of the hardest questions about fairness, freedom, and equality. It reminds us to treat everyone with kindness and respect, no matter who they are. What can we learn from this? Maybe it's as simple as doing something kind for someone else. A small act of kindness can ripple outward and make the world a better place. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos in the Exploring America series and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story. Thanks for watching. Imagine a world without light bulbs, airplanes, or peanut butter. Hard to picture, right? But once upon a time, those things didn't exist, until a few incredible inventors brought their ideas to life. Today, we're diving into the fascinating stories of 3 trailblazers who changed the world with their creativity and determination. Let's get started! Let's begin with Thomas Edison, a man who refused to live in the dark. Before his invention, people relied on candles and oil lamps for light. Effective but messy and dangerous. Edison had a vision to create a safe, long-lasting electric light bulb. He didn't succeed on his first try. In fact, he failed over 1,000 times, but each failure taught him something new. Finally, Edison perfected the light bulb, and his invention lit up the world, literally. Now let's visit North Carolina in 1903, where 2 brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright, made history. They loved bicycles, but their dream was much bigger. They wanted to build a machine that could fly. After countless tests and crashes, they created the first successful airplane. It flew just 120 feet, but it proved that flight was possible. Today, their invention connects people and places across the globe. Our next story takes us to a peanut field where George Washington Carver saw potential in a simple plant. Carver was a scientist with a love for nature. He discovered over 300 ways to use peanuts, from peanut butter to fuel and even paint. His creativity didn't stop there. Carver also taught farmers how to grow healthier crops and take care of their soil. He showed the world that even the simplest ideas can solve big problems. What do these inventors share? They were curious, creative, and determined. They faced challenges, but they never gave up. Their stories remind us that imagination and hard work can change the world. Now it's your turn to be an inventor. Grab some craft supplies or Legos and think about something you'd like to create. Maybe it's a rocket ship, a bridge, or something entirely new. Let your imagination lead the way, and who knows, you might invent the next big thing. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the incredible world of inventors and builders. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos in the Exploring America series and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep imagining. The 20th century was a time of transformation, an era where big dreams, bold actions, and the courage to stand for what's right changed the course of history. From fighting for equality to reaching for the stars, this century taught us that we all have the power to make a difference. Imagine a time when women couldn't vote. They had no voice in choosing their leaders or shaping the future of their country. But that didn't stop them. Women across America joined together, marching in parades, waving banners, and giving speeches. They faced resistance and challenges, but their determination never wavered. In 1920, their hard work paid off. A law was passed granting women the right to vote, a monumental step toward fairness and equality. Decades later, another fight for fairness took center stage, the Civil Rights Movement. African Americans were treated unfairly, excluded from schools, restaurants, and even neighborhoods, simply because of the color of their skin. It was unjust, and brave leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Enough is enough." Through peaceful marches, heartfelt songs, and powerful speeches, they demanded equality. Laws were changed, and while the journey is ongoing, their courage brought hope to millions. The 20th century wasn't just about making life better on Earth. Some people dared to dream even bigger, of exploring the stars. In 1969, humanity achieved something extraordinary. Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon and declared, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." It was a moment of unity, wonder, and inspiration. The moon landing proved that with teamwork and vision, anything is possible. The stories of the 20th century show us something important. Every one of us has the power to make a difference. Maybe you'll stand up for someone who needs help, invent something that changes lives, or one day, explore new worlds in the vast universe. What will your contribution be? The 20th century was an incredible time, full of lessons about bravery, perseverance, and hope. It reminds us that change begins with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos in the Exploring America series and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. America is an incredible place, a land of dreams, ideas, and amazing people. It's like a beautiful, colorful patchwork quilt, and every single piece represents someone special, just like you. Today, we're going to dive into how you fit into this big story and how you can help shape America's future. Ready to explore? Let's begin! America is all about working together, just like a team. Whether you're helping a neighbor, cleaning up a park, or simply being kind to a friend, every little action adds up. Imagine if everyone in your town decided to do one thoughtful thing today. That's the power of making a difference. Let's take a moment to think about something. What does kindness look like in your life? Maybe it's planting flowers to brighten up your street. Maybe it's sharing your ideas for making your school a better place. Whatever it is, your actions matter more than you think. Now imagine this, a school garden where kids like you grow fresh vegetables to share with families in need. Isn't that an amazing way to make a difference? And it all starts with small steps, like planting the first seed. Speaking of planting seeds, let's talk about something else that grows, friendships. When you make a new friend, especially someone who's different from you, you're building a bridge between your story and theirs. That's how communities grow stronger. America is like a big family made up of all kinds of smaller families. Some speak different languages, celebrate unique holidays, or share special foods. Think about your favorite meal. Now imagine trying something new like tamales or sushi. How cool would that be? Even though we all have differences, we're united by the things that bring us together: kindness, curiosity, and a love for helping each other. That's called unity, and it's what makes America such a wonderful place to live. Close your eyes for a moment and think about the future. What do you see? Do you dream of being an artist, a scientist, or maybe an explorer who discovers something incredible? Those dreams can become real if you take small steps to make them happen. Here's a fun idea. Grab some paper, markers, and glue. Create a vision board, a big, colorful picture of all the things you want to do when you grow up. Maybe it's helping animals or traveling to space. Your dreams belong on that board. As you work on your vision board, think about how your actions today can help you reach your goals. If you dream of helping others, start by lending a hand to someone in need right now. One of the best things about being a kid is that your story is just beginning. Every day, you have the chance to write a new page in your own adventure. What will today's page say? America's story isn't just about the past, it's also about today and tomorrow. And here's the best part. You're part of that story. Your ideas, your dreams, and your actions can help make the future brighter. Now, let's get back to those dreams. When you think about the future, what excites you the most? Is it building something amazing? Helping your community? Maybe creating something that's never existed before? Every great invention or idea started as a dream in someone's mind. The things you dream about today could change the world tomorrow. That's how history is made, one dream at a time. Before we wrap up, take a moment to think about this. How can you be kind, curious, and brave today? Those three things can help you make a big impact no matter how small your actions might feel. Activity time. Take that vision board you started earlier and share it with someone you trust. Talk about your dreams and how you can start making them real. You never know who might be able to help you along the way. America is full of possibilities, and the future is wide open. The best part? You're part of the story, and your voice matters. So dream big, be kind, and don't be afraid to take action. Thank you for joining me on this journey through America today and tomorrow. Remember, you are a special piece of this big, beautiful quilt we call home. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos in the Exploring America series and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story matters, and I can't wait to hear about it.